Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to our video. This video is going to be about part 1 about working with Python and QGIS. This episode we're going to be covering vectors, how to import them, printing out CRSs, coordinate reference systems, printing out extents, finding out the minimum maximum extents, and working with features. So without further ado, let's get started. Now the first thing we can do in our Python, well first off, let's suppose we didn't have our Python console open. We can instead go to plugins. Should be under Python console. You could also click press Control Alt P rather, and this should open up your console. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to import a vector layer. So we can type out something like vector layer equals. Now this is the important part. We're going to have to type out iFace and a dot. They're going to type out our method, which would be add vector layer. Add vector layer, and do a parentheses. And now we're going to have to start off with our file directory. So I'm using a directory called Cameroon. Now basically because we're in Windows, it separates each of these little elements with only a single backslash. So because we're in Windows and because we're using Python, we're actually going to need to double up on each of these, because in Python, a single backslash just means it's sort of like a cancel, or I forgot exactly what it was, but basically it's just sort of like cancels out something. So I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. Okay, so we doubled up our backslashes, and it's time to put a comma after our parentheses. And I'll just give it new layer a name, so we'll give it Cameroon, a comma. And finally, we're just going to put in quotation marks OGR. Oops, OGR. We'll hit enter. And it gave us this map of Cameroon that I made several weeks ago. Basically, it's just each of the districts of the country. There are 10 in total. Now, we can open up our vector coordinate system by typing out a new object called, or it's object a variable, I keep forgetting, but we'll type out vector CRS. Vector CRS stands for Vector Coordinate Reference System. That's what we're going to be, the syntax we're going to be using. And for the simplicity, we're just going to leave all of these sort of objects or variables in full lowercase. Normally we would do something else, but it's just for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to do that. So vector CRS equals vector layer.crs, and enter. And then we can print vector layer, oops, not vector layer, vector CRS dot description, and enter, and give us back WGS 84. This is basically the type of our coordinate system. Again, if you've been through my other QGIS videos, it should be, I talked about what WGS 84 stands for, more or less. It's just a sort of coordinate reference system. Next, we're going to move on to extents. So an extent is basically just give us, like, for example, what's the furthest left x coordinate, what's the furthest left y, first right x coordinate, and so forth for y. So to do this, we're going to type out again vector extent equals vector layer dot extent. That's our method, and then we're going to print vector extent. So we're going to print vector extent. So it gets us, okay, so it gets us, I believe it's from y, starting from y, it's minus 8.54 to minus 1.7. That's just, well, I'm not exactly sure what it means, because I think Cameroon is actually above the equator. It basically just gives us its coordinates. I think they're in WGS 84, so I don't exactly recognize them. But what we can do is we can find, for example, the minimum x value. So for example, we just type out something like min underscore x equals vector extent dot x minimum parentheses, and we'll type out something like print min x, and give us back 8.54. If we want to back up, let's see, 8.54. So start off with x, looks like. I can't tell if that's a spot on my screen or if it's like a negative sign or whatnot, but think it should be. I think it's probably not a minus sign if you can see it on my screen. Maybe it's just like a dot. Basically, that's our minimum x is, well, 8.54. Yeah. I think it is a minus sign because it gave us, it says this is our minimum and this is our maximum, but it didn't kind of include it on our min function. Oh, that's okay. And now finally I'm going to work with features. So we can do this again by creating a new end feature. End feature variable equals vector, end feature equals vector layer dot feature count. If we enter that, it should hit back. We didn't put anything in it yet, so we're going to print end feature equals vector layer dot feature count. Then we're just going to print end feature. Print end feature. It gave us back 10 now. If we count up these districts, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we know we got it right this time. And that basically gives us a number of features. Let's see. And for the rest of this sort of portion, it's going to be about like for loops and how the kind of syntax structure. For example, if we're going through like a point symbology or line symbology or multi-line symbology, then we can use some for loops. But yeah, that's actually going to be it for now. In a future video, once I've covered more or less the sort of I think shapefile specific elements of Python and QGIS, then I'll go back and just cover how to structure your for loops or your iterations. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.